Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida at gmail.com. Every Monday, we take a look at the real estate market here in the Villages. We get some perspective as to whether properties are selling quickly and at what prices. If you have any interest in buying a home and you're trying to get a good deal, please reach out to me. Similarly, if you're trying to sell your house and are trying to maximize your return, or if you just have general questions about life in the villages itself, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida at gmail.com. As usual, we start by taking a look at the 10-year government bond yield. The 10-year government bond is the closest instrument that tracks the mortgage rates, and you can get some perspective as to whether rates are heading higher or lower from here. Looking at this graph, you can see that rates are little changed from the beginning of the year when they were close to 4% and they're 3.5% now. It is up dramatically from the sub 1.5% that we saw 2 years ago, but it's anybody's guess as to which direction rates will head in from here. It's difficult to tell if the slowing economy will have more impact on reducing rates or if a rising inflation will have more impact on increasing them. But let's turn our attention now to the village's real estate market itself. Here we can take a look at how many properties are listed this week. There are 348. Last week there were 350. This week, prices range between 189,500 and just under $2 million. And taking a look at this graph, you can see that the number of listings has basically risen inexorably over the last year. Although looking at the last couple of weeks, it certainly appears as if the number of listings is moderating. Here we take a closer look at the listings themselves. This week, the number of properties for sale between 100 and 200,000, number one. If we focus on the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, this week there are 216 properties for sale. Last week there were 208. The week before there were 211. The week before 203, and the week before 211. This graph shows us the median listing price per square foot for all listings. The median listing price has increased this week slightly from $262 a square foot to $264 a square foot. Looking at this graph, it certainly is welcome to see a bit of a bump after a relentless decline. Here we look at how long properties are staying on the market. This is the median time on the market for all listings, currently 38 days. Last week it was 40. This is down dramatically from the beginning of the year when the median time on the market for all listings was approaching 60 days. Here we take a look at new listings and homes that went pending, both over the last 7 days. Number of new listings over the last 7 days, number 49. It was 40 for the previous 7 day period. Number of homes that went pending over the last 7 days is 32. It was 47 homes that went pending over the previous 7 days. And taking a look at this graph, where you see the new listings in blue and the pending home sales in orange, you can see that the number of new listings continues to approach new highs at close to 50 over each 7 day period, whereas the number of homes that have gone pending has dropped back down to the lower end of the range at barely over 30 homes. Here's a closer look at the new listings over the last 7 days. As I said, they're number 49. The previous 7 days saw 40 new listings. The price range of the new listings is from just under 270,000 to exactly 700,000. Looking at this table, you can see how many properties are listed in each price segment. For example, in the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, the last 7 days saw 35 new listings. That is 35 out of the 49. The previous 7 days saw 27, previous 26, 7 days prior to that also 26, and the 7 days prior to that 19. Here we turn our attention back to the pending home sales. These are homes that went pending over the last 7 days. The median price per square foot is just barely over $251 a square foot. We're heading back down. We've seen essentially consistent decreases since the beginning of March, when the price per square foot on homes that went pending was close to $265. This week we're down to barely over $251 a square foot. This shows us how long the homes that went pending were on the market before they went pending. Same number of days as last week, 45 days is the median time on the market for homes that went pending. This is more than twice as long as we saw 6 months ago. And even though it's not the highest that we've seen, it's not encouraging to see this number remain solidly over 40 days. This perspective on the pending home sales shows us what the change has been in the asking price from the original listing price. Of the homes that went pending over the last 7 days, the median change was a reduction in the asking price of almost 7%, up dramatically from this 4.5% that we saw last week. It appears as if sellers are still having to reduce their asking prices in order to attract buyers' attention. This is our look at the properties that sold and closed over the last 7 days. They're number 39. The previous 7 days saw 41. Properties that sold and closed ranged in price from 135,000 to 950,000. It is encouraging to see that the number of properties sold has rebounded to the highs that we saw a year ago. A closer look at the properties that sold and closed over the last 7 days, broken down by week. In the most recent 7 day period, the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, saw 22 sales. Previous 7 days also saw 22. 7 days prior to that, 15. 7 days prior to that, 14. And the 7 days prior to that, only 10 sales. Here we look at the median price per square foot on the homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days. $250 a square foot, the median price, down very slightly from the $251 that we saw last week. Looking back over the last year, it does appear that if the trend is to lower prices, it is a gentle trend. Here we take a look at how long properties are staying on the market, specifically the properties that sold and closed over the last 7 days. They were on the market a median time of 26 days, down dramatically from the 39 days that it was taking last week. But this is still 4 or 5 times longer than homes remained on the market before being sold a year ago. Here we take a look at a summary, giving us some idea as to how enthusiastic the market is. This week, of the total sales numbering 39, 10 of those were on the market for less than 7 days, which is 26%. An increase from 17% the week before. Of the 32 homes that went pending, 4 of those were on the market for less than 7 days, which is 13%, down slightly from last week. And the total number of listings that have been on the market for more than 100 days total 65 out of 348 total listings, which is 19%, a slight improvement from the 21% of last week. And the last two things we look at are what percentage of listings have had to reduce their asking price from the original listing price. The number of listings having to reduce their asking price has increased this week to almost 54% of all listings, up from 51.5% last week. The number of homes that have had to reduce their asking price from the original listing price looks like it will continue to increase. And finally, we take a look at what the percentage decrease is, the median decrease for all listings currently on MLS. 4.49% is the median decrease for all listings, which is a slight improvement from the 5% decrease that we saw last week. It seems that 4 to 5% decreases have become common and expected. So that wraps up this week's look at the Village's real estate market. Once again, my name is David, and I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. If you're interested in buying a home, trying to get a good price, or sell your home and or are trying to sell your home and maximize your return, or you just have general questions about life in the villages, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions you have. Hope to hear from you. Take care.